Hi guys, welcome to Georgia, my little narrowboat. We're gonna do another video about the Vrouwe Linda. It's a walk around video. I found some footage I didn't realize I had, so I've managed to squeeze in a 7th video on the Vrouwe Linda, despite having no intention of having a YouTube channel at the time of taking this footage. So I've got a collection of video, collection of photographs I've coupled together, and it acts as a walk around, both the outside and the interior of the boat, so you'll have a clear understanding of what it is I have. So, let's leave London and go over to Markham, and let's have a look at de Vrouwe Linda. So, we're coming towards de Vrouwe Linda. As we make our way across the gangplank, in front of you you'll see 2 panels in the middle of the deck. Lift those up and the counterweight rises up out of there when you lower the mast. 2 bollards, and this is the winch that raises and lowers the mast. There's an escape hatch. The mast is not present today. Got a lee board, another lee board, also known as swords. These are made of steel, so they sink when you lower them down, unlike the wooden ones, which have a tendency to float. The blue tarpaulin is covering the doorway into the aft cabin. There's the pigeon box and of course the tiller. The scenery in Friesland is flat. Well, that goes without saying, I suppose. It's raining on this occasion, but I wanted to show you this. This is how the throttle is operated, using your foot. So you've got reverse and forward, and of course speed. These winches are run by cables to the lee boards, lowering and raising them appropriately. The boat has no keel as it's flat bottomed, so these lee boards are a requirement when sailing. The de Vrouwe Linda, the canvas roof is rotting, but that's okay because underneath is wood and underneath that is steel, so it's perfectly sound. This cradle is for the bowsprit, so that's a big wooden pole that sticks out to the front of the boat, and you can add a 3rd sail. Note the little lever sticking out of the green top. Flick that across, and the same winch that operates the mast can also operate the anchor. 17.76 meters long, 3.9 meters wide, fits into all the locks in Ireland, which is the reason why I bought the boat. Its size. So, the very first image I ever saw of de Vrouwe Linda was this. These are the promotional pictures that were on the website of the brokerage that was selling the boat. Advertised at €35,000, but in the end we ended up getting it for €32,500. This is the first I'd ever seen of the boat. However, this video is the very first video I took of the boat. It's very dark, as you can see, because it was February. So I saw the boat for the very first time online in January 2019. By February 2019, I was on board inspecting. This is my brother, and sitting down is Graziano, so that's Enda. Graziano is the brokerage. So these are stills that I took at the time, but they're obviously clearer. So there's the escape hatch. It's ladder to the escape hatch. Some ropes, some fenders. And looking back towards the back of the boat, this is the captain's cabin. My brother is in the doorway to the galley, but in the captain's cabin, very dark, really dark, and very small and pokey, but my brother is adding a bit of comic relief. He got into 90% of the photos, you'll see in a moment. But it gives you an idea of the size. Here's the toilet, a sea toilet. And the galley, it's very basic. Everything is basic because it's just a leisure craft for weekend and holidays only. That's the sails, which are in good working order, which are in London at the moment. The height of the ceiling here is actually quite good, but down there it's really low. It's only 5'9". There's the fire. This is the generator, which is an antique Bernard motor, DAF 475 diesel engine. And this is the back cabin, and this is the most important part of the boat because this is the original boat, 110 years old, original cabinetry. That's a bedroom, as demonstrated by my brother. But this is all original. So now we get to the summertime. So by this stage, between the time of purchasing the boat, going through all of that process, and to this point, my main focus was getting the bilges cleaned out. So that's the cabin bilge, the engine bilges, and any bilge I could find. There was a lot of water in there, and I needed to get it all out. Water inside a boat will rot the inside of the boat. But I was very lucky because Chris Cable had painted the entire interior of the boat with just engine grease. So this protected the inside of the hull. So summer was gorgeous of 2019, lovely hot weather. And now you can open up the boat and let the light in and you can see it. And this is the very front. So this cable and these pulleys are what is used to raise and lower the mast. And those are beds, by the way. That's a bed you're looking at. And when we lifted up the boards, this was the bit that was a bit rusty. But everywhere else in the boat was great. And that was because of the water trickling down the mast and into that area. But here you can see where the steel is in great condition and all that grease has been protecting it. And this is painted with linseed oil as an experiment, because traditionally you use linseed oil to protect steel in the olden days, so I'm thinking of doing the same here. These oak panels and this partition comes from a church, so they will be retained, though the partition is about to be removed, as you'll see in a sec. The fireplace has a chimney that goes up through the deck, but the cap is missing, so it's stuffed up. As you can see the measurement, if anybody knows how I can get a replacement, let me know in the comments below. But there is a chimney, you screw it in, that's the way it is at the moment. And it was a godsend, because in the winter it kept me warm. Anyway, back to the summertime pictures. This floor gets removed and you can see the tanks underneath. So there's a water tank on the right, diesel tank, which is decommissioned on the left. That is the heat exchanger for the diesel engine, which is keel cooled, and all of this gunk and diesel is coming from the engine bilge, and the water is coming up down from the deck. So this is the deck above, and there's a bit of corrosion in there. I've just filled it with silicone temporarily, but you can see that it's trickling down on the inside. So this is what I was doing, trying to find all these leaks and testing by throwing buckets of water on things, but eventually got it all cleaned up. Now a little interlude. So this is Markham, and they build super yachts in Markham. So those big sheds are enormous. They're just very far away. Bit of perspective there. This is a dredger that's been dredging the harbour, and it's come to the end of the day, and they're giving the dredger a good clean. So they're just scooping up water and dumping it on the gunnels. And you can see a gentleman with a sweeping brush just behind the camera. This is October, so I took a little trip over to the windmill, got my mast chopped up into floorboards, but I discovered leaving my floorboards on top of the roof outside was not good for the floorboards. So I bashed a hole into the captain's cabin and discovered that my floorboards could fit neatly in this area. I took the bowsprit off the front as well and popped that in there just to keep it protected, because I could and it would fit. But as I started putting holes in it, I started making the holes bigger, so I decided that's it, I'm going to get rid of this partition. So as gingerly as I could, I removed these oak panels to be used at a later date. So here we have the back end. I also punctured a hole into the engine room from here, so that's where that hole was you were looking at. That's my little bed, so I stay on the boat at night when I'm working. The stove is running and I'm burning all the rubbish wood in that partition is being burnt in the stove, keeping me warm. So a nice little bit of free energy there. That's the kitchen. It's very, very low ceiling, so it's not very comfortable to use. So this is what it looks like all opened out. It is much brighter, and of course now the stove is warming up the whole boat because of that heat radiating throughout the boat. So that's the back end. Now I need to remove these tanks, and they will be moved and used as water tanks at the front of the boat so that I can have an increased headroom at the back. So this is the last bit of the video. So this is the front of the boat. So this is the panel in the deck to allow the counterweight to move up and down, and the counterweight is housed in that area. This is at the moment a little bed with all the rigging sitting on top of it, but I will put the water tanks there and put a bed on top of the water tanks instead, just as sort of a visitor's bed, as a summer bed or a leisure bed, but nothing long term. So as we look back into the boat, so we're at the very front of the boat now looking back, You can see the oak panels put to the side there temporarily, but what you would have seen was the captain's cabin. But of course it's no more, it's gone. So it's now one big open space, and as you can see it's a lot brighter as a result. We can do a little quick turn around and have a look at the space from which we came, but you can see that's the height of the ceiling. It's only 4 foot high. This is the bathroom, well I should say the toilet. It's a sea toilet. You can stand up, gentlemen, but that's all that's in there, and other than that it's just a storeroom. And here's the galley. That drum is the only source of water I have on the boat. So those panels were obviously in the middle, going up to the roof there. All the wiring is redundant that you see coming out of the ceiling, so it's useless. So there is no wiring in this boat as we speak of any use, unless you were talking about the engine wiring. But as you can see, I'm demonstrating how low the ceiling is by using that camera angle. So this floor will drop down and we'll get an extra 1.5 feet. And there will be a good reason why I'm doing this. So this area here will be a diner, 2 bench seats and a table between them. The table will drop down to create a double bed, so a spare double bed. This will be a shower unit, and maybe shower unit and toilet, or just shower unit on its own. I haven't decided. And here will be the galley area, and this will mean that in this area you'll be able to stand up to full height comfortably and do things that you need to do. And then in the lower area will be the living quarters and bedrooms, where most of the time you're going to be sitting down or lying down. So as we go through this hole, this gives us access to the engine room without having to go outside, which is normally the case. You have to go out that door and then go in the other door to get to the back cabin and then into the engine room. But this way is a direct route. The only problem is it's a tiny little hole, so it's a bit of a struggle to get in. In front of you in the darkness is the generator, and then to the left is the DAF diesel engine. It's all very dark in there. I think a little quick edit just right now. Oh, there we go. And we're into the back cabin. So just bear in mind, when this boat was built in 1910, this was the living quarters of the family that operated this boat. It was a sailing boat. So this is the main living area. That is a bedroom with a bed. Today you'd put a single bed in there, is about as much as you could get, but probably, because of the stature of people at the time, maybe 2 people could sleep in there. That's the doorway in and out, and at the time the only doorway in and out, as the rest of the boat was just a cargo hold, and there's the light coming in from the pigeon box. These 2 doors would have been to further accommodation, as there was no engine, but of course today it's the engine, it's the gas locker, it's the generator. So all of this is going to stay as it is. I mean, it'll be improved, but not only to improve and enhance the historic value of the boat. So that was it. By February 2020, we went into lockdown. This is the last I saw of the boat, and this image is the last image I saw. Guys, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give you a little insight of what the boat looks like. Yes, these videos so far have been a bit rough and ready. I'm learning as I go. You'll be glad to know I have a nice new mic with a big fuzzy thing attached to it, and I've now got a bit of technology to increase the quality of these videos. The next time we're going to see the Vrouwe Linda will be whenever the lockdown conditions worldwide relax and we're able to travel safely to the Netherlands. Once that happens, every video after that will be dedicated to YouTube and dedicated to you guys, and the production quality and just the content will be a lot better because I'll be thinking about what I'm filming as I film it. So I hope you enjoy the video. Please subscribe. There are going to be loads more videos, and join me on this journey. Like this video, press that icon that says bell dingy dingy to let you know when another video is coming on. In the meantime, I won't be able to do any more Vrouwe Linda videos, but I will be able to do some cruising videos here on Georgia. So we're allowed to move again in England. So we're going to take the boat out and we'll do some nice gentle cruising videos for you in the meantime. Thank you very much. Take care, guys.